Hello, welcome to this trading forecast. I'm going to go over the instruments that I like the look of the most and just what I'll have on my watch list going forward for the week. We'll start off with Forex and then we have crypto at the end of the video. Everything should be marked down below so you can just skip the parts that don't appeal to you. So we'll kick off with EURUSD. We're on the daily. My bias is still bearish. We obviously have some support here. Weekly low down here. Acting as support, so we have support here, and then support and resistance up here. What I would like to wait for is if we get a pullback, come into some support and resistance on the daily time frame, and then look for a breakdown, or if we get a daily close below this previous weekly low, and then I'll look for lower prices. So bearish bias on EURUSD. There's no point in going down into any lower time frames. I'll let Monday unfold, and any trade setups I'll post in the Discord group. So at the moment, still bearish on EURUSD. Daily close below this previous weekly low will open up the gates down to this next level. So moving on to pound. Bearish bias also on pound. We have some support over here, a bit of a deviation, and then resistance, and then what's holding up this market. If I'm bearish, I want to see what's holding up, so we have support here and support here. Either we get a pullback, come up, take out this high into resistance, and then I can look for a selling opportunity back down to this range, and then we have sort of a range forming. Or like EURUSD, if we get a close below this daily support, then I'll be looking for some selling opportunities on pound. But bearish bias still on these two instruments, and bullish the dollar, and that'll be the theme until we, something changes fundamentally as well. I don't see any reason why I should be looking to get along these pairs at the moment. Let's take a look at dollar Swiss daily chart. Coming into some resistance, we have resistance here and resistance here. Any pullback I will be looking to get long, preferably if we could come back down to this structure. I know that could be a long way away, but that would be ideal for a long setup. Or on the other hand, if we break out and retest from the other side, so resistance could turn to support, and then we could get a long dollar Swiss. Price action on dollar Swiss quite choppy, I find. So if I was going to trade these I would rather trade EURUSD to the downside. But at the moment, any pullback I'll be looking to get long on dollar Swiss. Let's move on to dollar yen. Daily chart seems a bit overstretched to me. Obviously we've got this very strong run, and if we can get a pullback into support, then it's logical to look for any long setups that we do get. You can see we've barely had any pullbacks. We've had one candle here, one candle here, 3 candles, and then we haven't had a pullback since. So on the lower time frames, if you're looking for trading opportunities on this instrument, I would be looking for longs on dollar yen. Let's go to Kiwi. Daily chart. These will all be daily charts. You can see that we had a little bit of support here, resistance, going through the market, and we also had this trend line structure. We've pushed. Now just waiting for a little bit of a pullback to continue on to the downside. We can see this pullback candle here. If we can get a pullback into there, so that's obviously going to be support and resistance on the lower time frames. Let's just mark that out and go down into the hourly just for a quick. Just for a quick minute. So if we're bearish on this instrument, we want some support and resistance to come into play. If we get a pullback like this into that area, we can follow structure, wait for a break, and look to sell. Or you could wait for Monday's levels to unfold. If we get something like this, then we can use Monday's low to look to get in. So like I say, I'm just going over my bias on these instruments, and then once Monday's finished, I do an update on Monday evening with sort of going down into the lower time frames and breaking it down even further. But these are just good videos to get your bias on and to prep you for the week ahead. Let's look at Aussie dollar. we have come up and swept some highs and had this rejection. Any pullback into these lows over here. So any pullback I will be looking to sell, or if we can break structure like this on the long term, then I'll be looking to sell. But at the moment, Aussie is probably the strongest against the dollar, against all these instruments. So I would prefer to look for EURUSD shorts, and I would prefer to look for pound shorts over Aussie, etc. If you're going to play anything against the dollar, most likely EURUSD or dollar yen. Euro and yen seem to be the weakest going forward. Let's take a look at Euro Aussie. We can put weak currency against a strong currency, basically. So on the daily time frame, we've had this huge bearish run, a pullback, bearish run, pullback, bearish run, and we've got this pullback. I'm expecting lower prices. Technically and fundamentally, everything is bearish. We do have, if we can take a closer look at this daily chart, so sort of mother candle, inside day, inside day. So if I'm bearish, what am I looking for? Well, a break below here. So this support should turn to resistance, and then that should open up the gates to take out these lows. Another option is if we come up, raid that, and then look to sell a failed breakout of that high. So we trap some long traders into the market here, and then a quick reversal. And that's what I'll be waiting for on Euro Aussie. EURCAD daily time frame, obviously very weak as well. You can see technically very weak. We have sort of raided, I don't know if raid's the right word, but this low here, support and support. If we can get a daily close below there, then I'll be looking for selling opportunities on the lower time frames, or if we can get a pullback into previous support and resistance, look for a breakdown and then play it to the bottom of this range. Quite simple, really. And let's take a look at some yen pairs. So we looked at dollar yen, we'll look at Aussie yen being one of the strongest currencies against the dollar, which would make sense to trade it against the yen. So we have resistance here, and it looks like resistance. So there's two things I'm looking for. If we can get a daily close and retest, then I will look for long-in opportunities. I'm not looking for long-in opportunities straight out of the bat, because that'll be, you know, long and straight into higher time frame resistance. If we can get a pullback, maybe sweep some lows, and then follow structure, follow price action, then I could be looking for long-in opportunities. We have support down here, we have resistance here, so a breakout would be ideal, but it does seem overstretched, so a pullback could be on the cards. And if that's, I'll just sit in the sidelines if we're getting a pullback and just wait for it to set up in the other direction. Same with CAD yen as well. We need a pullback. We're coming up, we're taking out this high. If we can get a pullback into some support here, then we could look to get along that again. But like I say, everything's a bit overstretched on these yen pairs, and if you're day trading or scalping, I would look for long-in opportunities, but just be aware that we could be due a little pullback on these instruments. Let's look at pound Aussie. This is the daily chart. What we can see here is a sort of head and shoulders to the upside, and we broke this level with resistance here, and what they call a neckline. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking for this to fail. So I'm drawing structure here that you can see, and if we can break a daily close back below this level, then I'll be looking for selling opportunities to take out this low. So just waiting for it to turn again. There's nothing in my eyes that seems bullish here. If we look at the run that we've been on, this is just a pullback for maybe another continuation to the downside. We also have support here, so these lows, if we can get a push up into there, break structure, and then I'll be looking for some selling opportunities. Let's take a look at pound CAD quickly before we go on to crypto. Pound CAD following structure. This level is quite wide, but if we go out to the weekly, you'll see why. On the weekly, even just looking at these candles, huge run down. I wouldn't be trying to long this against such a heavy looking run down. So we have a little bit of resistance here, but we also have this candle that we could need to fill in. So I'm just following structure on the lower time frames. Let me just show you on the daily. Well, actually I'll go down into the 4-hour chart so you can get a closer look at price action. Support, support, support. If we can break that structure, then I'll be looking to take out these lows. So that was Forex. I'm going to move on to crypto, and we'll be looking at the daily charts, and then I'll have an update for you on Monday. Okay, let's start off with Bitcoin. I have this trading channel that I've marked on my charts and then keeping an eye on it. Top of the channel, 48k is what's capping the upside. And now we've coming into 40k on the downside. So we have support here, support here, support here. And this is where we're currently at. We also have a little bit of support going through the market here at 40k. So this is a key level. If we break down on a daily closing basis, then it's going to look quite messy for Bitcoin. I think these lows come into play. But at the moment, while it's sitting on higher time frame support, I will be looking for trades to the upside, possibly to the EQ of this channel. So go let the weekend unfold and then have a look on Monday and see if we can get any nice price action to get along this. As I say, bias will change if we get a daily close below this structure and the 40k mark. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum also running in a channel. We can look at resistance here and then support down here, but also I've marked out just the most recent support and resistance here on the daily, and if we can get a daily close above that, then that'll open up the gates for longs. But at the moment I don't want to long straight into this resistance. If anything, we have to wait for a daily close above there, retest, and then look for long opportunities. But once it's below here, there's always a risk that we can move to the downside and then complete this channel at the bottom here. So I'm just following structure. If you go down into the hourly, I'll just show you the structure, what's holding up the market. If this goes, then we will be looking for more downside. So support here, support here, support here. If we can break that structure, then I think we do have a more room to the downside, should I say, on Ethereum. Let's move on to Solana. Daily time frame, there's just two levels that I'm looking at. We have resistance here, we had this deviation, resistance, and then support down here. At the moment I'm not interested in it as it's just between two key levels. If we come up, this is an area where I'd be looking to trade, whether that be we follow structure and get that breakdown, or if we daily close above, retest from the other side, and then we can attack these highs. So on the sidelines on Solana at the moment, so not much point in spending too much time on it. Let's go on to Luna. Quite bullish looking chart overall. On the daily we have resistance over here, support and support, and one more leg down into that area of support is what I'd be looking for, and then a break of structure, and that would open up the more upside on this instrument. If we get a daily close below here, then I would expect a move down to this trend line support, just down here. So yeah, on the sidelines in this, looking for one more push down straight into this level, and then we can see what price action decides to give us. Let's finish off with Avalanche AVAX, and it's something that I posted on Twitter. Some nice levels. We have resistance here, support, support, little bit chop through here, but this is support as well, and we also have this trend line support. So more upside is what I'm expecting. Well, not expecting, but what I'm on the lower time frames looking at. If we get a daily close though, daily close below here, then that'll open up a lot more downside, I feel, on this instrument. But at the moment we're sitting on key support, so I'll be down into the lower time frames looking for any signs of a breakout. We do have a breakout on the hourly at the moment. If I can just draw your attention to this channel, we have resistance going through here. We have this breakout, but this breakout is happening and the price action is very low. So it's bank holiday and we're just sort of chopping. I want to see a move and then a pullback and then look to get in long. This breakout at the moment you know, it's not really a breakout. We're just sort of moving sideways. So I'll look for initial push and then a pullback, and then look to get long. So any instruments you want me to cover in tomorrow's video, you can leave a comment below. But that's everything that I'm looking at going forward for the week. Obviously, we'll have to let price action dictate what's going to happen, and then we'll just trade with what we see and what price action is giving us. Not what we want to happen, but what is actually happening on the charts. So looking for a good week ahead. Obviously won't be trading all these instruments. This is just giving my general bias, and then once price action dictates what's happening, then I can go down into lower time frames and trade some ideas to get involved with the market. So wishing you a nice rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on Monday night.